Okay, hello and welcome to today's video. So, today's video is going to be an unscripted one. Now, normally when I do review videos of games, I script them and go through a script of all the different things I liked about them, but today I thought, like, you know what, for this review video I'm just going to go in unscripted and just talk about the game, what I liked, what I disliked, if there is anything, whether or not I think you should buy it, and right, just inserting this in, I have a new intro and outro on this video. I made the animations and stuff on the intro and outro myself, and the music is created by Infin. He's got a YouTube channel and he's also in my Discord server. I'll credits to him in the description, but hopefully you like them over my old ones. I personally feel they're a lot higher quality, and the people I've asked about it also feel so. But anyway, credits to Infin for the music and me for the animation. Whatever. Onto a video. Such forth. Maybe even a score. So, today I'm talking about Cadence of Hyrule. Now, this game is quite an interesting one actually. I honestly didn't know what to expect when it was first announced. I don't think it was what I was expecting what we got, but we got something really good, I'll say that for sure. So, the game itself, it's not a traditional Zelda game obviously, it is a spin-off, it's a rhythm-based action game. Now, Cadence of Hyrule specifically is based heavily on the Zelda series, but it's also a crossover with Crypt of the Necrodancer, which is also supposedly a good game. I just bought that recently because it's currently 80% off on the Switch eShop, so there's a deal if you're interested, but I have yet to play it, but I'll play it soon, but that's supposed to be good. Either way, Cadence of Hyrule is definitely good, so that's a bonus. Well, not really a bonus, that's just a thing, but anyway, I suppose I ought to talk about the game itself, the pros, the cons, just the different features and stuff. So, in terms of gameplay, as I said, it's a rhythm-based action game, so you have to move in tune with the beat and do everything in tune with the beat. Now, there is a beat meter at the bottom, but generally I tend to prefer to do it by ear because I'm looking all over the place if I look at the bottom as well. But yeah, and I personally find this quite cool. It is quite challenging, especially at first, to adjust to it, but it is really fun once you get used to it. In fact, I've heard quite a few people who aren't even that good at it say that they enjoy it. At first I wasn't that good at it, I still enjoyed it. Now I'm quite a bit better after playing tons of it. I still enjoy it. It's a great game. But anyway, after a brief overview of the gameplay, I suppose I ought to go into it in a bit more detail on what I like, so first of all, the actual gameplay, despite being rhythm-based, it's still very true to Zelda, as you'll find with a lot of things, not just gameplay. You can collect all the different items, there's different, well, you don't actually get too many different swords in Zelda in general, but in Breath of the Wild you do, so true to that I guess. And the items are actually pretty decent. They're very reminiscent of the older Zeldas, I like that quite a bit. I didn't use them too often when playing. You probably could do, and if you did you'd probably win more. I can't really focus on too many buttons at once when I play games, so I just stuck to attacking mostly and used items whenever I got stuck, but there were cool ones. I've not even found all of them yet, but like say Hookshot, that's the traditional Zelda item, but then Ice Rod, presumably Fire Rod too, they're from quite a few games, like Link to the Past, even Breath of the Wild I guess. And one which I really liked seeing was the Cane of, I think it's Samaria, isn't it? Or is it Paki? I confuse the two. There's quite a few canes in older Zelda games, but it spawns in a block in front of you, which you can use, and they added that to the game, and that's barely seen in Zelda. It's quite an old thing, so I liked seeing that. That was quite cool. But anyway, aside from the items and the stuff with the gameplay, the dungeons themselves. Now, they're not exactly specific dungeons seen in other Zeldas, but the locations they're in and the overall themes are stuff that we've generally seen before, and I like that. I like how it's got its own new stuff, but it still sort of stays true, you know, so I won't spoil too much, but then say there's a frozen grotto in Lake Hylia. There have been ice dungeons quite a bit in Zelda, both 2D and 3D, and it's within Lake Hylia, which is generally an area where you'll often get stuff, or at least nearby. Say in Twilight Princess, the Snow Peak, that was near Lake Hylia, or the ice dungeon in A Link to the Past in the Dark World, that was also, well, the Dark World equivalent of Lake Hylia. I don't even know if that's Lake Hylia in A Link to the Past, honestly. The place names in A Link to the Past I've mostly not remembered. But yeah, it stays true to quite a bit of stuff in terms of that with the gameplay. The bosses and the enemies, it's very nice, I like that. Most of the enemies are true to Zelda, if not all of them. The attack patterns of enemies are really unique for each one, but then also not too hard to cope with, and it makes facing each enemy really interesting, you know? And when you get a lot of them, it's like, what do you do? But then, the times when you do figure out what to do, they feel so satisfying. The times when you don't figure out what to do, it's not too bad because of the death system we've got in place, which I'll touch on in a minute, but like, it's quite fun. And the bosses themselves, they're just amazing, honestly. Like, I just found myself enjoying every last one of them. One of them, I was like, no, I'm dying so much, why can't I beat it? Quite a bit, but I still enjoyed it. Well, I was like that for two of them, actually. Not one. But the dying thing, which I said I'd touch on as well, so deaths aren't actually, well, they're not really damaging like you might get in some games which aren't really Zelda ones, but then they're not really nothing either, like you'll get in a lot of Zeldas. Like, basically you lose all of your rupees and any temporary items you have, such as shovels, torches, rings, boots, which I'll also briefly touch on in a second because I realised I hadn't mentioned them. And you also can only respawn at a warp location. But aside from that, where your progress is kept, you get to keep the crystals, which is another thing I'll talk about. So it's not too damaging, and it makes it fun despite dying a lot, because the times when you don't die, as I said, it feels quite satisfying. And it's because of the procedurally generatedness within the dungeons, every time you die, they're new, reset, so it doesn't stay alive because you're dying a ton. Now, it's also raining, so if this affects the video, depending on how bad it affects it, I might reshoot it, but there. Anyway, as I was saying, the other temporary stuff, and there's crystals. So you've got shovels, which you use to dig through walls. That's mostly based on Crypto and Dancer, but like, you do get mixed in Zelda games, kind of similar, I guess. There's torch, which is like your vision radius, and also burning stuff. That's mostly Crypt, but like, I guess also similar to Zelda, maybe with like Minish Cap, there's a lantern or something in there, isn't there? And what else? You get rings and boots. They're just like, the ring has a unique effect, which is quite cool. Sort of similar to the rings in the Oracle games, I guess, actually. The boots, also similar with unique effects, but more either defense though. Although there is one boot which lets you walk over a gap. And then there's the crystals as a currency which you keep whenever you die. You can use them to buy stuff either going into a new go after dying, such as like a shovel or bombs or something. Or you can use it for a few permanent things, such as like, say, an upgrade on your weapon or heart container. Stuff like that. It's quite cool. And the rupees you lose each time you die, as I said, but they're spent on less important stuff, like, say, getting your fortune red, or what else is there actually with rupees? Mini-games. There's other shops as well, but I've forgotten them because I never really used them when I probably should have done. I mean, to put it into perspective, my first run took like 10 hours. When I was looking at the leaderboards, there's people with like 1 hour runs. So yeah. In fact, that comes into another thing, the procedurally generated stuff. There's the default seed, which is like an actual designed one for Hyrule and everything, or you can go fully random seeds and the overworld will be different each time, which makes it quite replayable. You can also mess around with the difficulty settings and stuff. I won't go into it too much, in fact I've already been talking for 8 minutes about like gameplay alone, so suffice to say the gameplay is very good, very enjoyable, I like it quite a bit. Now, it's a rhythm game, we're gonna have to talk about the music. Let's do that. So, why do I keep doing this thumbs up thing? I don't know, I just seem to like doing this, to be honest. Whatever. The music is just top notch, honestly. It feels so like they've really nailed it on Zelda music, but at the same time, there's quite a few tracks in there which are like their own original things, you know? But despite that, you can hear Zelda music in them every now and then. Like say there's just the overworld music or Song of Storms or something, which just flat out Zelda tracks remixed. And then there's like, this is a boss music, which I'll play now. I'm not spoiling one of the bosses or anything, but you can ever so faintly hear Song of Storms in it. So yeah, that's nice. The music though is really good. I've already saved the playlist on YouTube to listen to all the time. Like, I really like it. And the music also has different variations too, so if you're just wandering around and there's no enemies on screen, it's got like a nice low version. If there's enemies on screen and you're fighting, it's a fast-paced, you have to stay in the beat one. And then, if there is a shop nearby, it changes to have like more voices in the music as well, which I find quite a cool idea. Probably from Crypt, to be honest. I don't know though, as I said, yet to play it, which I will play though, because I really enjoyed Cadence. But yeah, the music is honestly amazing. And there's not really much else I can say about it other than, if you're dubious about the game but you want to hear the music, go listen to it. But despite that, I highly recommend the game. Although I'm going to go more into recommendations towards the end of the video. Anyway, graphics! The graphics are pretty damn cool. Honestly, they're not top-notch graphics or anything, they're retro graphics, but I like retro graphics when they're done well, and they've been done really well here. They stay faithful to like Zelda with like references to all sorts of games, like, say, this house which I'll put up here. That's from A Link to the Past, you know? But then, these Bokoblins are clearly, and the Lionel are clearly based off Breath of the Wild, you know? But then the overall art style itself seems more reminiscent of like Minish Cap. I don't know, but it's pretty cool. I really like it personally. And yeah, there's not much else to say about graphics other than that I also enjoy them too. So next, going on to the story. Now this is, normally with story for games, I feel it needs to be big, otherwise I dislike the game a lot. With this game it's different. The story, as I said, only took me 10 hours. But the the main essence of the game is the whole randomizer sort of thing, how you can replay it and have it be unique each time. So the story doesn't need to be too big for that. So I won't put it down on the size. Now, the actual story itself, I like it. It's not too complicated. But it does stay pretty faithful to Zelda in general. Just the whole essence of it, like it feels like a Zelda. You could have had this story, shoved it in an actual Zelda with actual mechanics and still had it work, suffice to say. So I'll only say that initial story, I won't spoil the ending or anything, but basically this guy called Octavo, a musician, has put you as Link or Zelda, and the other one too, as well as the king and various other important people, to sleep across the kingdom, and he's taken over the castle along with knights and various enemies spread everywhere, and you have to defeat his 4 champions to go and get to him. It does go in a little bit more, but it's not too complex, honestly. It feels like a Zelda though, with the slight twists and... as I said, I don't want to spoil it, but it does feel like a Zelda's plot, and I like that. Despite it being simple, so I wouldn't say it's the best story because it is simple, but it fits the game, so that's fine by me. Now, would I recommend you getting it? Highly. Especially based on the price. It's only £22 over here, so that's probably like about, I don't know, $26 or something, I guess. I don't have it exactly on me, I'll probably flash it on screen. But, you know, it's for an actual Zelda. Normally Zeldas roll full price each time, but I'm on bang on 60, but 22, that's pretty good. Now, despite that, it's also made by an indie team, so indie games are low, so it makes sense, the price, and it's worth it. And as I said, I'd recommend it. Now, it also depends on what sorts of games you like, you know. It's not a Zelda game, and you should know that going into it. It is its own different thing. But despite that, its own thing is a good thing. It would just be a matter of whether you're the sort of person that would like said thing, you know? I personally recommend giving it a try though. If you are just a massive Zelda fan like me, just buy it straight away. Or if you know you like rhythm-based games like that, or you think you will, also buy it straight away. There's a variety of options you could do. It's a great game though, and worth checking out, honestly. Now, for an overall score which I'd give it, it's tough, like... I wouldn't necessarily say it's full 10 out of 10, but it is great and I feel like it could be 10 out of 10. Like, I can't think of many flaws, to be honest, on my side, but then, you know, it still could have had more. So I'd say, I guess it's probably 8 or 9. It's a great game, honestly. But anyway, I've been going on for 15 minutes. Hopefully I will have edited some of it down to make it less time-worthy for you lot, but either way, thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you did enjoy, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe button for more Zelda content, and I'm not going to spend ages on this because I know you all don't really care. Bye!